Okay, sir.
And this diameter of orifice, how much? 12.5 mm. Now you have to convert it in a meter, that diameter.
25 into 10 power 3.
No, no, mm to meter, 10 to the power of minus 3 you have to take.
Okay, 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 sir.
Divided by mu. How much value we have taken mu? I said, no. What is the value of mu you have taken?
New value 0.001.
Okay. Now you calculate. I think you'll get the correct answer.
Okay, sir, I'll do it.
Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today I'll explain the experiment on venturimeter. Okay. So in the previous class we conducted experiment on orifice meter. The main aim of these devices are used to measure the coefficient of discharge through the pipe. Okay. So discharge is defined as the rate of fluid flow flowing per second, and it is expressed in terms of a meter cube per second. Okay. For liquids, sometimes we are going to express in terms of liters per second also. Orifice meter, venturimeter, all these experiments works on the principle of Bernoulli's theorem. Bernoulli's theorem already studied. P by rho g plus V square by 2g plus Z equals to constant. Okay. It is a summation of pressure head, kinetic head, and datum head at any point. That is the principle of Bernoulli's equation. Okay. Meantime, we are having one more device in fluid mechanics lab called as V notch. And what is the difference between orifice meter, venturimeter, and V notch is that in orifice meter and venturimeter, we are going to find out the coefficient of discharge through closed conduits or closed pipes. Okay. Whereas in V notch, so we are going to find out the discharge through open channel. Okay, these notches are mainly used for the determination of coefficient of discharge through open channels. Okay. You remember in the Viva question they may ask the difference between orifice meter, venturimeter, and V notch. But aim is same to find out the discharge of the fluid. But in a venturimeter and orifice meter, they mainly used for the determination of coefficient of discharge through closed conduits, and V notch is for open channel. Now I'll explain the difference between orifice meter and venturimeter. The orifice meter and venturimeter. So we'll get less accuracy in orifice meter. On the other hand, we'll have the more accuracy in case of venturimeter. Orifice meter is less costliest as compared to the venturimeter because of the construction. The coefficient of discharge in case of RF meter varies from 0.6 to 0.7. On the other hand, the coefficient of discharge for venturimeter is from 0.8 to 0.9. Maximum is up to 0.99. Okay, theoretical is 0.99, but practically you'll get less than that one. Okay, you'll get approximately 0.8 to 0.9. Okay, that is the difference between RF meter and venturimeter. So, but instrument is same. As I said, we're having the combined setup. Okay, the instrument is same, but only difference is that whenever you are going to conduct the experiment on venturimeter, you are going to close the orifice meter and the nozzle levels. Okay, orifice meter. So what you are seeing, this is the venturimeter. Okay, this week we are going to conduct experiment on venturimeter. Okay, so the tabular column, everything is same. So what already you are having the tabular column as you have noted down in the previous class. Okay, same tabular column, the same specification, same observations. Okay, so whatever values you have, the same tabular column. Okay, in the tabular column, first area of measuring tank is 0.12 meter square. Inlet diameter of venturimeter is 25 mm. Throat diameter of venturimeter is 12.5 mm. Same specification as that of orifice meter. Only you are going to take the different readings. First one, rise in water level in meters. Okay, we are going to set up whatever the rise of water level in the pipe whenever the fluid flowing through the venturimeter. Whenever the fluid flowing through the venturimeter, due to pressure difference, there will be a rise of water level. So we are going to fix that rise of water level for 10 centimeter or 0.1 meter. You remember, for all the readings, we are going to take the rise in the water level as 0.1 and time taken for rise of water. As you start taking the readings, you have to start the stopwatch, and then when the water level reaches 10 centimeter in the pipe, we have to stop taking the readings in the stopwatch. Okay. So as I said, manometer is used to measure the pressure difference. Okay, you are seeing this is the mercury manometer. Mercury is used as a manometric fluid because of the its unique properties, like it is having the coefficient of thermal expansion, so it is heavy liquid. It does not stick to the walls of the tube. Okay, and we can easily read the readings by using the mercury as manometric fluid, and is mainly used to measure the pressure difference between 2 points. Okay, whatever you are seeing, this is the manometer, and this is our the venturimeter construction. Whatever it is highlighted, it is the venturimeter, and remaining construction is same. And this is the construction of venturimeter. It is having convergent divergent section. First one is at the beginning we are having the convergent, and the middle portion is called as rod, and this end portion is called as the divergent portion. So this venturimeter is fixed inside the main pipe. This is the water inlet and this is the water outlet, and this one is connected to the U-tube manometer to know the pressure difference at two different points. One is at the main section and one is at the throat section. So we are having the different pressure at main section and at the throat section. That is nothing but your H1 minus H2, and this is construction of venturimeter. And regarding calculation, okay, same thing. H is loss of it. Don't make confusion between small h and capital H. Small h is the difference in the manometer reading. That is H equals to H1 minus H2. Okay. And then capital H equals to H into Sg minus Sw. Small h is H1 minus H2. Sg is specific gravity of mercury. That is always 13.6. Sw is specific gravity of water. That is 1. Okay. Next, similar formula, that is actual discharge. You remember A into R divided by T. A is the area of a measuring tank. It is always 0.12 meter square. Rise is water level, rise of water level in the tank, that is 0.1 meter or 10 centimeter. You have to take the reading in meter only. divided by T, time taken to rise the level of water up to 10 centimeter. By using that formula, we are going to calculate the actual discharge. Next, theoretical discharge is A1, A2 square root of 2GH divided by square root of A1 square minus A2 square. A1 is the cross-sectional area of pipe at inlet. That is pi by 4 into 25 by 1000 whole square. So don't take 25 mm. You have to convert mm into meter. So pi by 4 into 0.025 square. That is A1. A2 is pi by 4 into 0.0125 square, because the diameter of the throat section is 12.5 mm. You have to convert into meter. That is 0.0125 meter. Square root of 2gh. 2 is constant. G is acceleration due to gravity. Always you have to take the value of g as 9.81. Capital H, what we calculated h is using the formula small h into sg minus sw. Okay. And then once we know actual discharge and theoretical discharge, then next step is we have to find out the coefficient of discharge. Coefficient of discharge is the ratio of actual discharge divided by theoretical discharge. Okay. Then Reynolds number. Okay. And you remember, you should get the value of coefficient of discharge less than 1. Suppose if you are getting more than 1, it is wrong. So you have to get the actual value will be less than your theoretical discharge. Then only you will get the coefficient of discharge less than 1. That is less than unity. Okay, next step is we have to calculate the Reynolds number. Reynolds number is given by rho Vd by mu. Rho is density of water, 1000 kg per meter cube. V is the velocity. Velocity is calculated by Q actual divided by area. That is pi by 4 into the throat diameter into d, diameter of the pipe, divided by mu. Dynamic viscosity of water is always 0.001 Newton second per meter square. That you have to, there are only two things you are going to calculate. One is coefficient of discharge, and another one is the Reynolds number. Okay. Then only one graph is there, CD versus Reynolds number. Suppose you are taking for two values of CD, you have to find out the graphs. Okay. And this is once you calculate the calculations, next step is you have to tabulate those calculated readings in the tabular form. Once again, what are the things you are calculating? First one is loss of head, that is small h into Sg minus Sm. Sg is specific gravity of mercury minus specific gravity of water into small h. Actual discharge is A into R divided by T. Capital A into capital R divided by small t. Theoretical discharge, that is A1 A2 square root of 2gh divided by square root of A1 square minus A2 square. A1 is the area of the pipe at main section. A2 is the area of pipe at the throat section. Next, capital H is your head, that is small h into Sg minus Sw, and divided by square root of A1 square minus A2 square. So suppose you are taking for 2 to 3 readings, you have to find out the average CD value, and then Reynolds number by knowing rho Vd by mu. Reynolds number plays very important role in the fluid mechanics, and it is the ratio of inertia force to viscous force. So it is mainly used for the determination of type of flow, whether the flow is laminar or it is turbulent. If Reynolds number is less than 2000, then we are calling it as the laminar flow. In the laminar flow, the fluid flows in the form of layers. Okay. And the viscosity will be more in case of laminar flow. Okay. On the other hand, whenever the Reynolds number is greater than 4000, then it is turbulent flow. Okay. For example, our municipality water flow. Okay, we are having big pipes. Okay, so whatever the fluid water flows in the municipality pipes having very high velocity. In case of laminar flow, we are having low velocity. In case of turbulent flow, we are having high velocity, and the fluid particles moves in a well-defined path in case of laminar flow. On the other hand, the fluid particle flows in a zigzag way or in a random way in case of turbulent flow. If the Reynolds number lies in between 2000 to 4000, then it is neither laminar or turbulent, but we are calling it as transition phase, because in that number the flow changes from laminar to turbulent. Okay, so 2000 to 4000, it is either laminar or turbulent, but it is transition zone. Above 4000, it is turbulent flow. Okay, so whenever the last explain the significance of Reynolds number, you have to explain like this: ratio of inertia force to viscous force. If it is less than 2000, it is laminar flow. If it is greater than 4000, it is turbulent flow. Okay, in case of laminar flow, the fluid flows in a well-defined path. Okay, and all we are calling it as laminae. That's why the term laminar flow. Okay, and in case of turbulent flow, the fluid particle flows in a zigzag way or in a random way. Okay. It's all about the experimental details. Okay. Understood? Any doubts in this one? So in the same tabular column, I'll give one set of readings. Okay, all of you have to calculate same procedure, same tabular column. Okay, even formula also same for the venturimeter. Okay, I'll give the readings. All of you can take the readings. Okay, for this one set of reading I'll give. Okay, do the calculation and tell me the answer what you are getting. Okay.
All formulas also same, no sir?
There no change. Okay, so whatever tabular column, then calculated tabular column, formula, everything is same. Okay, because there is the same procedure. Okay, even that observation also same. The area of collecting tank is 0.12 meter square. The area at main section is 25 mm. The area at the throat section is 12.5 mm. Even there is no change in observation, also no change in procedure. Everything is same. Okay, instead of orifice meter, just you have to mention it as the venturimeter. That is the difference.
Okay, sir.
Do you have the tabular column? Okay, the tabular column only you can enter the values. Okay, I think already we have noted down. So just you write the heading as venturimeter and note down the readings. Okay. Alap, how much you got Reynolds number last time? I calculated.
30,048, sir.
Good. Okay, it is turbulent flow.
Yes.
What is the value of mu you have taken? Okay.
Mu is 1 kg per meter cube.
No, not kg per meter cube.
Dynamic velocity.
Viscosity, not velocity. Dynamic viscosity.
Oh, okay, sir. I think I took 1 itself, sir.
That is, now I'll repeat once again. So, rho, I'll tell the formula. Reynolds number is rho Vd by mu. Rho is 1000, that is density, 1000 kg per meter cube. V is velocity of fluid flow, that is Q actually you have to take. Don't take theoretical value, because we are going to find out what is the velocity of fluid flow in the pipe. So, V actually is Q actual divided by area. Okay. So, you take the area through the throat only, that is 12.5 mm into D. Better you take the diameter at throat section only divided by mu. Okay. Mu is 0.001. This is standard value of dynamic viscosity for water, 0.001 Newton second per meter square. Unit of dynamic viscosity in SI unit is Newton second per meter square. So today I'll give two more set of readings. So you have to calculate and tell me the answer. Do very simple calculation. Please, all of you note down the readings. First one is okay. The first one you note down, rise of water level is always 10 centimeter. You see, for all the experiment, we have fixed this standard value. So we are going to take the reading for the rise of water level for 10 centimeter. Okay. So all of you have to take the standard value for all the readings, 0.1 meter. Okay. Next, you have to note down the time taken for rise of water level for first reading of it took 39 seconds for the rise of water level.
So this is a new reading.
New reading. Okay, for what readings I'm giving for venturimeter. Okay,
Okay, sir.
not that previous week that was for orifice meter. This week I'm giving the readings for venturimeter. Is 39 and H1 you note down minus 1.5 okay centimeter. I'll tell why it is minus. First reading you note down H1 is minus 1.5 and H2 is 1.4 okay plus 1.4. So already you studied in the fluid mechanics that so we are having the column somewhere you take this one. Suppose if the reading is below that reference line, you have to take minus. Okay, and if the reading is above the datum line, okay, in that case you have to take this as plus. Okay, in our experimentation work, one we are getting it as minus 1.5 and another reading is 1.4. And in the calculation, what I said, h equals to h1 minus h2. How we are going to take? So 1.4 h1 is minus of. You have to take h1 plus h2. Whenever one reading is below and one reading is above the datum line, in that case, you have to take h as h1 plus h2. If both are above the reference line, in that case, you have to take it as h1 minus h2. You remember the same thing you are going to take in the lab. Okay. Sometimes we'll get the readings above the reference line. When the two readings are above the reference line or datum line, you have to take the difference in the pressure as h1 minus h2. If one reading is below the reference line and one reading is above the reference line, in that case, you have to take h as h1 plus h2. So what readings I have given is minus 1.5 is h1 and 1.4 is h2. In that case, h is don't take 1.4 minus 1.5, rather than you have to take 1.4 plus 1.5 centimeter. Okay. So all of you please remember this one. Okay. This is the first set of reading. Rise of water level is 0.1 meter. Time taken in the second is 39 seconds. H1 is minus 1.5 and 1.4. So H, I am giving the value that is 2.9. That is 1.4 minus of minus 1.5 means it becomes plus. Okay. So you'll get 2.9. Okay. Second set note down. Same thing. Serial number 2. Rise of water level is 0.1 meter. Time taken seconds is 32. Okay. Done. First reading is 39, second reading is 32. First reading is minus 1.5 and 1.4. H is 2.9 because one is minus and one is plus. If both are minus, in that case you have to deduct. Okay, second reading is 0.1 meter. Time taken for rise of water is 32 seconds because we are going to express the discharge in terms of meter cube per second. Then H1 motor minus 2.5. H1 is minus 2.5 because that reading is below the reference line. So in the manometer, we are having a column. There is a mark column as 0, 0. Suppose if the reading goes below the reference line, it is minus. That is minus 2.5 and H2 is plus 2.2. Okay, so you'll get a 4.7. These are the two readings you take and then do the calculation.
So what is H2?
Okay, first reading is minus 1.5 and H2 is plus 1.4. Okay.
Yes, sir.
H is you have to take 2.9. Okay, I'm giving the value because one is minus, one is plus.
So the second reading H1.
Second reading, a capital R is 0.1 meter. Time is 32 seconds. T small t 32 seconds. H1 is minus 2.5.
Yes, sir.
Centimeter. What I'm giving is centimeter, not in meter. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And H2 is 2.2. Okay. Minus 2.5 and 2.2. And H is 4.7.
Only two readings, sir?
Only two readings. And one more thing. Okay. So in the record also, suppose if I'm giving the three readings, no, you have to do calculation and put it in the tabular column. But you have to show the calculation for only one reading, either trial 1, trial 2 or trial 3. Don't show all the calculation. Okay. In the examination also, suppose if you are having 4 readings, you have to do all the calculation for 4 readings and then you have to show the specimen calculation for any one of the reading. Okay. Remember, same thing here also. So just do the calculation in the calculator and put it in the tabular form. That's it. Okay. And but you have to show any one calculation, either first, second, or third. Okay. And one more reading I'll give last one. Okay, please note down. Okay, last one, third reading. That's why I said no, just you do the calculation in the calculator, just put the answer. And you have to show the specimen calculation for any one reading. Note down the third trial. Okay. Third trial, time is 26 seconds. Third trial. R is 0.1 meter. And this time is 26 seconds. Okay. And H1 is minus 3.7 and 3.1. So you'll get H as 6.8. Okay. These three readings you note down. Okay. Third reading is 0.1 meter. Time is 26 seconds. And H1 is minus 3.7 and H2 is plus 3.1 and H is 6.8. All of you have noted down the readings. Okay. So all of you calculate. So and you tell me the answer. Okay. So because each experiment carries 24 marks. Okay, based upon your calculation, we'll give the marks. That's why. So don't lose your sheets and those things. Do the calculation properly. Write your USN and name and put the tabular column. Okay, first EM, just you put EM. That is determination of coefficient of discharge through venturimeter. Then you put the tabular column.
Write it in the previous tabular column only, no, sir.
Same thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's continued in that one only, sir.
Continued. Okay. Because.
So you told you can directly enter, no, sir. So that's why I did that. For calculation, I'll write separately.
You write like that. Okay, for RFIS meter, how much? What is the calculation? Okay, for you write heading as venturimeter. Okay,
Yes, sir.
this each next week. Okay, same tablet you have to write in separate sheet. Okay,
Okay, sir.
because all of you have to submit these answers in the Google Classroom because based upon your calculation only you are assigning you are giving the marks. Any doubts, guys? Okay. Chinmay Prasad.
Yes, sir.
Sai Sumant.
Yes, sir.
So have you taken the readings, Sai Sumant? Okay.
Yes, sir. Doing.
Okay. Everything it is there in your this one lab manual. I have posted that lab manual in your Google Classroom. Okay. Suppose you are not getting, go to that PDF file and write down the tabular column. So whatever readings I given, just you note on those readings and do the calculation. Abhishek GL.
Yes, sir.
ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
हाँ sir.
So go through. Have taken the readings?
Yes sir, I take.
Okay. Just do the calculation. As still your hand notes, ask me.
Okay sir.
But you have to do the calculations properly.
Yes sir.
Okay. Ajay Korut. Ajay Korut.
Yes, sir.
I have taken the readings. Okay.
Yes, sir. I have taken the readings.
Do the calculation properly. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You take some sheets of paper, write the tabular column. Okay. Do the calculation. Okay. I given
Yes, sir.
3 readings. No. So you have to do calculation for all the 3 readings. You have to put it in a tabular form. Okay. But you have to show any one specimen calculation. No need to show all the calculation. Akram Anwar.
Yes, sir.
I have taken the readings, Akram Anwar. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Have you attended previous class?
No, sir. I had exam, sir.
Okay. Now onwards you attend regularly.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I have posted that lab manual in the Google Classroom. All of you go through the lab manual, read carefully. Ankit Nambiar,
Yes, sir.
what is the difference between RFIS meter and venturimeter? Ankit,
Hello.
what is the difference? Okay. Biban Kalita. Biban Kalita. Charishma Indudara.
Yes, sir.
Charishma,
Yes,
are you
sir.
following? Okay.
Yes.
Note down the readings. Okay. Do the calculation. Darshan is Darshan.
Yes, sir.
Are you following Darshan?
Yes.
Okay. Have taken the readings. Okay.
Yes, sir. Taken it.
Okay. You know how to take the readings in minus and plus. Okay. One is minus. Why it is minus means that the reading is below the reference line. Remember. And plus is the reading above the reference line. Govindraj. Govindraj. Jayant Bansali. Jayant Bansali.
Sir, Jayant Reddy.
Jayant Reddy. Have taken the readings, Jayant Reddy?
Sir. Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, yes, sir.
Where is Purushottam
Yes, sir,
Reddy?
yes, sir.
Okay, where is your brother?
He had exam, sir.
Which exam?
Tomorrow he had physics exam, I think.
Okay. How about you have taken the readings? Jayant Reddy.
Sir.
Take the readings, do the calculation, okay?
Okay, sir.
All of you have to write in a piece, sheet of papers, all the things, calculations. Rutik Shah,
Yes, sir.
have taken the readings.
Yes, sir.
Do the calculation. Suppose you are having doubts, ask me, okay? Any doubts
Yeah,
in the
yes, sir.
calculation? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Jayant Bansali,
Yes, sir.
how are you, Jayant Bansali?
I'm fine, sir. I actually had some work, so I could not attend now. That's why I joined late.
Okay, no problem. You had some doubts in the quiz, no? What are the doubts you are having?
Sir?
You had some doubts in the quiz, whatever questions I posted in the group, this one in
Yes, sir.
classroom.
Now it's clear.
Clear,
Now that I got it. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Jitin Kumar V. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And taken the readings? Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm doing calculation.
Okay, do. So one more thing, I have posted 10 questions in the Google Classroom last week only. Okay, only 4 have you answered. Okay, remaining you are not answered. So you have to answer one line question. Okay, all of you have to answer, write in a A4 sheet, and you have to submit. Okay. So after doing calculation, so go through that quiz questions. Just you write simple question. All are simple questions. All of you have to answer. Write in a A4 sheet paper, and you have to submit.
By when should we submit that paper, sir?
No, actually, okay, no problem. Those who have not completed, that would only can submit. Okay, I gave last week only. No problem. Those who are not submit, at least submit today. Okay. Hardly 10 questions are there. Very simple questions. Okay, not complicated. One line. What is laminar flow? What is turbulent flow? Like that, I gave some questions. All of you go through the questions. Submit by today only. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So all of you have to enter your USN in the chat box without fail. Those who are not entered, you have to enter your USN and name in the chat box without fail. Others Desai, it's not. Govindraj. Govindraj. Guys, all of you enter your USN in the chat box and do the calculation. Write your USN, okay, and the title of the experiment. Okay, do all the calculation properly, and you have to submit that sheet in the make PDF and submit in the Google Classroom. Meantime, you have to submit assignment questions also. Okay. Last week I gave that assignment question.
Sir, could you
Ah.
send it in the
What?
could you send it in the form of an assignment?
Assignment. Assignment, I get 10 questions. Sir. This one, what you are doing,
No,
just
sir.
you post it, upload in Google Classroom. Calculations.
No, sir, it'll be easier if you send it in the form of an assignment for us. So, like, we'll send it personally to you.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll create assignment and I'll send it in the Google Classroom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Biban Kalita. Biban.
Yes, sir.
How are you, Biban?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Fine. Okay. So, today only joined first class, sir. You have attended last class also, no?
No, this is my second or third class, sir.
Okay.
Second class, sir. You can check.
Okay, have taken the reading, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, they are taking the.
Take the readings, do the calculation, simple calculation, okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sure.
And all of you have to remember that you have to convert the units properly, okay? For example, manometer reading, you are taking in centimeter, you have to convert in meter, okay? And all observations like diameter of orifice, diameter of main pipe, they are in you have to convert in meters, so that once you convert properly, then only you'll get the correct answer, otherwise you'll get the wrong answer.
So what's the answer?
How much you are getting?
Getting same answer as last week, sir.
Same only, no? That different. How much? 0.7, no? How much?
No, sir. What is the Q actual value for the first trial?
No. You calculate it. Tell me the CD value.
0.866.
Correct. Okay. Last time you got 0.66 and this time you are getting 0.86, right?
Yes, sir. But RE value is coming as same.
Same only. Because of that, you are having diameter is same and everything is same. No, that's why you are getting same. That don't worry about your this one Reynolds number.
Okay, sir.
Only thing you have to concentrate on coefficient of discharge. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now you can analyze. Okay, you are getting venturimeter as 0.866. Okay, and you are getting the coefficient of discharge for orifice meter as 0.66. That is in the range of 0.6 to 7, right? And this is in the range of 0.8 to 0.9. Venturimeter. That's why we can tell it as the venturimeter is the accurate device as compared to orifice meter, and it is a costliest device because of its construction. Losses are less in case of venturimeter. Losses are more in case of orifice meter.
Okay, sir.
Okay, just you tell me the do second calculation like that. You do all the calculation and just you put it in the tabular form, and you have to show only one calculation. Either you can show first reading, second reading, or third reading, any one reading. Diksha. Hi, Sumant.
Yes, sir.
How much you are getting? Have calculated at least one reading, first reading.
Coefficient of discharge, I'm getting 0.8 something, sir.
Correct. 0.86, sir.
Yes, sir. Around 0.8.
Correct. Now you calculate Reynolds number. Okay?
Yes, sir. Doing.
You know how to calculate velocity and this one? How we are going to calculate velocity of fluid flow?
Q actual by area of the venturi meter.
Area of
Venturi meter pipe.
Calculate.
A1.
And the diameter is in mm. You have to convert in meter. Don't take in mm. You have to
sir.
convert in meters. Calculate and tell me the answer. How much you are getting Reynolds number? Okay. Guys, I'll stop the meeting due to some other meetings. Okay, I'm going to stop the meeting now. Okay, so all of you have to calculate and you have to upload in the Google Classroom. Okay, I'll stop the session now. Hope you understood how to calculate the things. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll stop the session. So meantime, you calculate all the things, calculate correctly.